Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. Dylan here. We have a major bombshell today from Senator Josh Hawley. He just came out and exposed massive amounts of fraud, and he's also coming out and calling out the Dems for what is going on, reacting to the shooter, the guy who tried to come in to kill President Trump just a few days ago. So we're going to dive into all of this, but before we do, we're going to read scripture and pray because God comes first. Amen? Comment amen if you believe that, truly believe that God comes first in your life. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear or be in dread of them, for it is the Lord your God who goes with you. He will never leave you or forsake you. Amen. And remember that God is with you everywhere you go. Amen. My brothers and sisters, congratulations to everyone who has begun investing in the stock market. The stock market has been soaring under President Trump, numbers that we have never seen before. If you want to begin investing, we have a totally free offer right now that we've never had before. I will leave the link below so you can sign up on your phone. Or if you watch this on your TV, you can just actually take out your phone and point it at the QR code through your camera app, and you can find the link there too. You don't need any money to get started and take advantage of this economic boom under President Trump. This is massive. Look at this. Hawley introduces legislation to strip pensions from members of Congress convicted of sex crime. What do you guys think about this, my friends? Let's tune in.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley joins us now. Senator, we know Nancy put the hit out on Biden. You think she put the hit out on Swalwell?
Absolutely. I don't have any doubt about it, Jesse, because he had become a liability. And you pointed out she knew all about this. She was briefed by the FBI back in 2020 that the guy was a target of a Chinese spy, Feng Feng. And by the way, Feng Feng probably got a Medal of Commendation. That's like the worst espionage assignment in the history of the world. But Swalwell fell for it. She knew that he was a liability. She knew he was a problem. She could use it as leverage until it blew up in her face, and now he's gone. And Jesse, this is why Congress needs to pass legislation, I'm introducing it today, that would deny pensions to every member of Congress who's convicted of a sex offense. Right now, you could be convicted and still get your pension. The only thing the government ought to be paying for people like Eric Swalwell is a jail cell.
Yeah. Oh! Boom! Shakalaka!
That's got to be a voice vote. That's got to be unanimous. Exactly. Senator, let's say AOC. We assume Nancy or Hakeem Jeffries has something on AOC.
Hakeem Jeffries. He's in a lot of trouble right now, guys.
What do you think that is? And do you think they use it?
Oh, I think they absolutely use it if they've got it, and I think the way that you get it is you just monitor these people just like they did with Swalwell, and you use it for leverage. I mean, there's a reason that they stay in line, again, until they become liabilities, and you're right about Joe Biden. Who got Joe Biden out of the presidential race? Not Joe Biden. It was Nancy Pelosi once again. I mean, she is a power player. She has got more dirt on every member of her party than anybody else, any intelligence agency could ever hope to. And for my money, I say she's still in control over there.
Yeah, I don't think Hips is in control. I think Nancy kind of runs things from the back room. The FBI, they have files on politicians. They've had them for decades. How do they build them, and then how do they use them?
Well, I assume they build them by just following them around and doing their due diligence. And on people like Swalwell, that wasn't hard, because here you've got the guy who actually is, I mean, he's literally sleeping with a Chinese spy. The FBI is the one who tipped off everybody. The guy was doing this out in public. I mean, everybody could see it. So, you know, how do they use them? That's another story. And we saw with the Biden FBI how they were willing to target people. They would absolutely, any leverage they could get on somebody, I'm sure they would use it. This is why they had to go after President Trump. They couldn't get any leverage on him. And so this is the Democrat playbook. They've done it over and over again. And that's why I say, Jesse, cut off the money train. No more money for these people. No more slush funds. No more pensions. No more goodies. Let's put a stop to it today.
Yeah, let's do it. And you're right. They tried to blackmail Trump.
What do you think should happen to Swalwell, Nancy Pelosi? What do you guys think should happen to Hakeem Jeffries, the Obamas? Comment below, my friends.
Remember that meeting Comey goes in and says, there's this little tape that's swirling around you in Russia. I mean, and then Trump kind of sniffed it out, got a bad feeling about it, and smoked him. And then that's when the revenge shit happened. These overseas trips, I'm sure you've been on a couple, but Swalwell was notorious for going overseas. He was always like ripping his shirt off, riding around on camels with his buddies. You got to think the FBI knows about any sort of shenanigans that happens overseas. That's their job.
That's their job, and I can tell you, I have been on one or two of these trips overseas, and what we're always told is foreign governments are spying on you as well. And that's why people like Swalwell are such a liability. I mean, you're not just giving leverage to some bad actors in your own party. You're giving leverage to China. I mean, this is why the guy was targeted by the Chinese Communist Party. The whole world knew about this guy. The whole world.
Yeah.
The idea that the Democrats didn't, give me a break.
Yeah, he was compromised completely. So was Hunter. So was the whole Biden family. What a mess. All right, well, we look forward to you introducing that legislation. That should be a slam dunk. Senator,
I mean, why would members of Congress still get their pension if they're convicted of a sex crime? That is literally wild to me. Literally wild. Hey, my friends, so here's Senator Josh Hawley reacting to the new video of the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooter. Let's tune in, my friends.
Joining us now with reaction, Senator Josh Hawley. You know, I'm always hesitant, Senator, to be critical in any way of the brave men and women that'll take a bullet for our elected officials. And when we saw their heroism on display once this incident did unfold. However, if you look at Butler, you look at Trump International, you look at this case here, there are things that do concern me. Number one, I think the perimeter, first of all, I think you should have multiple perimeters. One should be way far out. People should be checked. I think they should be going through mags and wanded not once but twice. That's number one. The same thing with Butler. How did a guy get on a ladder 130 yards away from Donald Trump? That should never happen. I think when it comes to securing an area, you've got to secure the whole area. You got to secure that whole hotel. Then after you secure it, you got to hold it and make sure nobody goes to where you just swept. You got to sweep it, secure it, and hold it. And that didn't happen in this hotel. That didn't happen at Trump International, you know, a known area for paparazzi. Nobody looked at the treat area around those golf holes. In Butler, how does somebody get within 130 yards with a rifle and climb a ladder on a roof? There's something radically wrong in my view. Thoughts?
Well, we've had a lot of security failures. There's no doubt about that, Sean. I want to echo what you said, that obviously the brave men and women on the ground in the moment there reacted with incredible heroism. Nobody was hurt except for that agent who took the bullet, and I'm glad that he's doing better now. But yeah, I think when you have 3 attempts on the life of a president in 2 years, they get as close as they did. I mean, my gosh, it's a miracle of God that Trump wasn't killed in that first attack in Butler. That was an absolute travesty. And Sean, I talked to numerous Secret Service whistleblowers who came forward to me after Butler, after Trump International, and they told me there are big problems with the Secret Service. They said they didn't have the resources they needed. They weren't getting the interagency cooperation that they needed. They didn't have the leadership they needed. Now, I commend the president for changing out the leadership, but I think we need to know, is the Secret Service getting all the resources they need? Are they getting the cooperation that they need? Are the right protocols in place? We got to be able to protect the life of the president and protect the lives of people around him, including the public. I think there's some work to do here.
Okay, I know for a fact that there is a massive shortage, anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000 agents short, number one. Number two, if they cannot, in a hotel situation like this, maybe they have 1,000 rooms, I don't know what the capacity is or occupancy is, whatever it happens to be, they cannot allow a single person in that hotel to have a gun, period, end of sentence. That's where you have to sweep, secure, and hold, and make sure that nobody can have a gun in that hotel. If you look at where this perimeter is set up right here in the video we're showing right now on your screen, as far as I'm concerned, I think that is too close to the ballroom. If that venue is too big and they're not able to sweep, secure, and hold, then you got to pick a different venue, don't you?
Yeah, and I think that may be part of the problem here. The Washington Hilton is an absolutely massive complex. And you're right, Sean. I mean, the shooter was able to get in there with all kinds of weapons, I think the day before, but have them with him that entire time. You see the video of him walking around both the day before and then hours before the event with the president. You know, clearly that is really, if that's not a security breach, it's coming right up close to it, and we all know what happened. I think we need to get some answers here as to what the protocols are. And listen, if the Secret Service needs more resources, and I think you're right, I think they are understaffed. I don't know that they're getting the cooperation from other agencies that they need. I can tell you after Butler and after Trump International, whistleblowers told me they were not getting the help they needed from other agencies. We need to make sure all of that is integrating and working well. The president has got to be safe. The public around him, when they come to see him, they've got to be safe. Again, I think we've got some work to do here.
How is it possible somebody got within 130 yards and a rifle and got on a roof in Butler? How is it possible that the president is playing golf very close to a treat area known for paparazzi? That area never got swept. How is it possible this entire hotel was not swept? I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it.
I don't either. I don't either. And this is why I think we've got to bring this out into the public view. I commend the Justice Department for releasing this video. That's terrific. But, you know, Sean, you're alluding to this. We still don't honestly have answers from what happened in Butler 2 years ago. I mean, we've never gotten a full accounting of the breakdowns there. I continue to believe almost everything we learned about Butler and the failures there were because of whistleblowers who came forward. We need a full accounting from top to bottom of all three of these incidents, and we've got to change things going forward.
I remember you went there and they didn't even want you on the property at the time. Am I correct?
That's right. That's right. I talked to you on the day. You are correct. The FBI came out onto the field when I was there at Butler. This was just a couple days after the shooting, and told me I had to leave. And I said, wait a minute. First of all, you don't have any authority to do that. Number two, you don't have it cordoned off. And they said, oh, no, you know, we'll give you the information when we want to give it to you. Give me a break. You know, they never really have those, Sean. They've never leveled with us. What we know from whistleblowers. We need a full accounting of all three incidents here. We need to be able to protect the president. We need to know what's going on.
Wow, my friends, that is crazy. I mean, it's honestly shocking to me that a shooter was even able to get into that into that room. That's why I think they need to have the ballroom, because this stuff wouldn't happen. Now, President Trump just came out to address the nation. Let's listen in.
We have the highest stock market in the history of our country by far, every single month. That's another thing you should camp. You know, they like to demean that. You know what the Democrats, well, that doesn't mean anything. That's just, no. That means jobs, and it means 401ks.
I've been investing heavily into the stock market, and I told all of you guys I'm buying in heavy right now. And then boom, the stock market is soaring again. My small little investment now has returned over $30,000. One of you guys even messaged me saying that you're up over 13 grand. President Trump even said the markets are gonna boom and the stock is gonna boom. And right now, for the first time, we have totally free access for you guys to sign up, to start investing. You don't need any money at all to begin. It's totally free. Now, if you're watching this on your TV, you can open up your camera app and point it at the screen, and it will actually pop up a little link on your phone. You can click it and then get started. But if you're watching this on your phone, just go ahead and sign up on the link below. It's the same exact thing. Now, here's Josh Hawley calling out the Dems, calling out people who are really pushing this anti-Trump rhetoric. Let's listen in.
The DOJ indicting former FBI Director James Comey for a second time. The charges in relation to his 8647 Instagram post from last year with the caption, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." Joining me now is Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley, who, by the way, I believe as well is an attorney, well educated in the law. What do you think of this indictment, Senator?
Well, I only wish that they could indict him for a whole host of other things, Will, while we're at it, like lying to Congress, for instance. I mean, James Comey has been before me under oath and lied directly about leaking classified material to the press. He's lied about lying to a FISA court to go get a warrant, a wiretap on Donald Trump. The FISA, it was so bad, this secret court actually disciplined the FBI and DOJ. This is under Comey's leadership. So I think that there is a heck of a lot there. And listen, I think that this is not an honest broker. This is not a good guy. and I look forward to seeing the department's case go forward.
You know, Senator, it's hard. It's impossible, in fact, not to acknowledge that this conversation, this current indictment against James Comey, is coming just a few days after an attempted assassination of President Trump for the third time. And the way that so many people are talking about him. You know,
Hakeem Jeffries, Yasmin Crockett, Hillary Clinton, the list goes on and on and on. Obama, both of Michelle, the man and the woman Obama.
And the former FBI director posts that. I'm not sure in the current political environment he deserves the benefit of the doubt that by 86 he means fire him, remove him from office, when we know it has the application, hey, kill him.
Yeah, well, particularly because he posted that after the president had already been the subject of 2 separate assassination attempts. I mean, let's not forget the context here, which Comey is very, very aware of. Here's my experience with James Comey, having sat across from him in congressional hearings, having seen him when he was still in office. This is a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He's nobody's fool. And you can't tell me when he arranged those shells on the beach that day and posted that picture, he just innocently didn't know what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. But hey, he's going to have his day in court. You know, so for all of the liberals who are melting down, he's going to get total due process of law.
Senator, I know you've called for an investigation into the weekend's events.
Yeah, it's just like Hakeem Jeffries. Like, even after Trump almost got assassinated again, he doesn't want to say sorry at all.
As it relates to anything that has been said, certainly as it relates to the comment related to maximum warfare everywhere, all the time, in connection with the redistricting battle that Republicans launched. I stand by it. You can continue to criticize me for it. I don't give a damn about your criticism.
I don't give a damn about your criticism. I don't give a damn if our president almost got assassinated again, all right? I'm calling for maximum warfare. Is this insane? Dude, are you insane? You're the leader of the Democrat Party. You can't just go out and say that, man.
The protection detail around the president. You want to have a hearing on this. Now, Assistant Attorney or Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche yesterday said it worked. Security worked. They caught him at the second layer of protection. So when you look at the events of the weekend, do you think that the security fell short when it came to protecting the president?
I just think that we need to have total transparency here, Will. This is the 3rd attempt on the life of this president in 2 years. I don't know that we've ever gotten full transparency on what happened in Butler. I've had numerous Secret Service whistleblowers come to me in the context of Butler and then in that second assassination attempt to talk about the protocols under the Biden Secret Service that were a disaster, about the mismanagement of that agency, about the dangers to the president's life. I think we need to be 100% sure that the president is being adequately protected. I think we need to be sure they've got the resources they need. And I just think the public deserves total transparency.
I totally agree. Total transparency, and the necessity is quite obvious as we're looking at the most targeted man, perhaps in the history of holding that office. Senator Josh Hawley.
So Josh Hawley here is exposing, they said $1 trillion in taxpayer dollars. This is insane, my friends. Ridiculous. Let's tune in.
Where's this money going? I mean, we know where some of it's going in Minnesota. It went overseas. It went to Somalia. It went to NGO fronts. We know where it's gone in some other states. California gave away billions of dollars to a pro-Hamas NGO. But $1 trillion nationally, where's this money going to?
I appreciate that question because most people don't ask that question. It goes to terrorism. It goes to child trafficking. It goes to drugs. It goes to terrorism. And then it's used to purchase luxury items, cars, purses, homes. That's all funded by people like me that pay taxes.
So you're telling me that the electrician who goes to work every day and clocks in and works his butt off and tries to earn just enough to be able to, make his rent, maybe have a kid or two, put food on the table, his tax money is being used to buy other people luxury items, cars, yachts, whatever else, and is going to fund terrorism and child trafficking?
Yes, sir.
$1 trillion a year on this stuff?
$115 million an hour.
$115 million an hour. How do they get their hands on it? What are we talking about here? Trends, national organizations, criminal networks? How do they get their hands on this money?
They take advantage of antiquated government systems and processes. They go into programs that they know elected and appointed officials won't touch, and they can steal at scale. And what happened really was during the pandemic, between the PPP loans and the unemployment insurance, they learned a really valuable lesson. Government never runs out of money, and the probability of getting caught is virtually zero. I have it at 0.1%.
So come back to the recommendations that you mentioned in your opening statement. What do we need to do to put a stop to this hemorrhaging of people's hard-earned money going overseas to finance child trafficking and luxury yachts? I mean, what needs to happen here?
It's really simple. It's used every single day in the commercial sector. Front-end identity verification, you just don't get to say, I am who I say I am. Second, recertification of all the recipients. There is so much fraud right now in the benefit programs all across the country. We need to get a baseline. Third, this notion of a third-party independent audit. And finally, is involving federal law enforcement, like the Secret Service, to investigate it. The thing that people don't understand is that most of these beneficiaries, Senator, they're not real. They're fake. They're someone's stolen identity that is getting used in all 50 states.
Wow. No. And Josh Hawley, he's calling out Keith Ellison now. Senator Josh Hawley has caught Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. This is insane, guys. Let's tune in.
Mr. Ellison, let me start with you. You're the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota. Do I have that correct? That's a yes?
Sir, you're aware of my job. You know the answer to that.
You're not going to answer my questions? Are we going to start this way? Are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
You know the answer.
Mr. Ellison, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Minnesota, yes or no? Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol of December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
Every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's
And
take a look.
obviously you didn't listen
said,
to the
it's not a
tape.
question. You said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names. And I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who is investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it? You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have
ventriloquist?
my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift
Yes,
a finger
we
to
did.
prosecute them. No, you did not. You
No,
didn't
because
lift a finger
it
to
was a
prosecute
federal
them. You had,
prosecution.
BS. You had whistleblowers
But
come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about,
Oh,
sir.
no, sir. You
You're the
now have
one
encountered the truth and you don't like it.
cherry-picking
Why'd you take their
You're the
money?
one taking
Why'd
their
you
money.
take their money?
I didn't.
You took
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000.
No, that's a false statement. That is a false
$10,000
statement.
9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what
Untrue.
happened. They went to your office.
That's a
They
false
solicited
statement.
money from
They
you.
did
They
not come to
solicited
my
help
office.
from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office.
No,
It
they
was your
didn't.
official office. You
No, they
met with them
didn't.
for 54 minutes.
No, they didn't.
asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked
That's
about.
a lie.
Money, 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 money. They
True.
said, we
Untrue.
will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are
that is
securing
not
your
true.
donor base and securing your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth. This is what accountability looks like, of which you've had none. You helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor just
for the record.
I'll ask how I want to,
he's lying,
Paul.
and that's the truth.
Oh no, this is all on the record,
sir.
Did you bother Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Do you know where it went, what it was used for, the fraudulent money? I do, because we just heard testimony about it yesterday.
Because we were key players in the
hundreds of millions of dollars to terrorist groups, to transnational criminal organizations, to the drug trade, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. And you took $10,000
That's a lie.
And helped them do it. You know, the other thing is, whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019, whistleblower. Don't talk over me.
No,
as early as 2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019.
Don't call me
whistleblowers came to, well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do.
In 2019, whistleblowers came to you in your office and referred to you fraud allegations from Feeding Our Futures, and you blew them off. Listen, your own state newspaper investigated it. The Minnesota Star Tribune, the Partners in Nutrition, brought its concerns to the Attorney General's office in 2018 and in 2019, and you did nothing. You did nothing for years. The only action you took is, once all these fraudsters came to your office and asked you to get involved and offered you money, then you got involved. Then you took the money, and then you got involved.
They did not come to my office. You're completely wrong about that.
You met with them for 54 minutes, and you took $10,000, and they also gave your family money. They gave your family thousands of dollars in campaign contributions in addition to what they gave
false
you.
Statement.
Let's put the
this is completely untrue.
The New York Post.
Yeah, we know the New York Post.
Minnesota Keith Ellison, AG, accepted campaign donations from individuals linked to the $250 million COVID fraud scheme after they were in your office. The donations came on December 20th.
Sir,
you met with them on December the 11th, and on January 20th, the FBI knocked over their headquarters.
No.
That's the sequence of events here.
No, it's not.
You've been right at the center of this fraud thing from the beginning, and you've enabled it. And sir, you should resign.
And sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Should resign.
The stuff going on in Minnesota is so bad that people are losing their minds. But luckily, Trump is catching on to it because it's actually cleaning up the mess inside America. Thank God Kamala Harris didn't win, because now our country is even thriving more than ever before. Stock market today hit a new all-time high. The Trump market is booming right now.
You better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before.
Rising market will do. Oh, it's going to get a lot higher.
I've been investing heavily into the stock market. My small little investment now has returned over $30,000. One of you guys even messaged me saying that you're up over 13 grand. If you want to begin investing, we have a totally free offer right now that we've never had before. I will leave the link below so you can sign up on your phone. Or if you watch this on your TV, you can just actually take out your phone and point it at the QR code through your camera app, and you can find the link there too. You don't need any money to get started and take advantage of this economic boom under President Trump.